Hi there, everyone. It's Chrissy Hodges, mental health advocate, OCD advocate. I just wanted to post a really quick video. This isn't going to be hugely long, but just a personalized video to the people who find me on YouTube or YouTube followers, and thank you so much. God, I love just being able to know that you're out there too. It helps me so much, and knowing that I'm not alone in my struggle and everything that I went through. I'm not the only person in the world that has dealt with this, and it's scary and terrifying. But I wanted to share with you that, and I also want you to know this isn't a bid for you to buy this, but I just wanted to, if you want to, that's great too. But I wanted to share with you something. I finally did it. This is my book, Pure OCD, The Invisible Side of Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. It's a memoir I did. I have been working on this for 5 years, okay? So the idea of being able to even talk openly about having OCD, speaking publicly, telling people the experience that I went through happened when I was 21. I was sitting on the steps of my psychology building, and I was just experiencing some relief from the symptoms because of ERP therapy. And I remember in that moment, it was interesting because I was holding this poem that I had written. It was this dark, awful poem of, the claws of OCD and what that feels like. And I was reading it and feeling like, God, this sucks. This disorder sucks. I hate it. I'm so miserable. But then on the other hand, I felt this incredible sense of maybe I can live successfully with this. I just started to see some of the benefits of doing therapy, and that therapy could work. And I looked up at, I remember specifically, I mean, and this is, 19 years ago, because I'll be 40 in a month. I looked up at the sky, and I remember thinking or saying out loud, one day I'm going to speak about this. One day I'm going to tell my story, and I'm going to help other people. And then OCD shot that shit down. It was like, that thought in my head, it was like, no, you're not. And nobody's going to believe you. No, number one. No, number two, everybody's going to judge you. Number three, like with HOCD, everybody's just going to think you're in the closet. And then, and that's when I was like, okay. And I went back into that hole of shame, like we all do. So 5 years ago, I was in a relapse. It was horrible. I was I was a month and a half in before I even knew I was relapsing. The only reason why is because my roommate said, you've asked me the same question. I was experiencing ROCD and harm OCD. And my roommate said, you've asked me the same question about your relationship 20 times in a few minutes. And I remember this light bulb went on, and I went, oh no. And then I knew, and I thought, oh my God, I've let this happen again, and I'll never get better. All those questions that happen, and you think, oh, this is the time that I'm never going to recover, and my OCD is going to prove that it's real, and I'm just a nut job or whatever, all the things that we go through. But then I said, okay, well, I have to do what I need to do. So I need to get back on meds, because I wasn't at the time. And I need to figure out a plan. And so I did a ERP hierarchy. I did flooding. I did everything I needed to do. But I also knew it was going to take a few weeks for the medication to kick in. And that is when I did it. Okay, so y'all will understand this. That's when I went, well, maybe I really don't have OCD. Maybe this is real, because it felt so real, and it felt physically real, and it felt all these other things. And so I was like, maybe I really don't have it. And this time it's going to prove that all of those fears are really real, blah, blah. And so then I thought, okay, well, you have 3 weeks until the medication kicks in, because for me, that's what it was. What can you do? Because I had no business at the time. So I had to go to work. I couldn't stay home. And that sucked, because like I needed the money, and I didn't have employees at the time to run the business. So I was like, okay, well, I have to go to work every day. What can I do in between panic attacks? Because they were happening all the time, about whether or not like the relationship I was in was supposed to be the one, and what if it's not, and what do I do, and everything. And then I was worried I was killing people on the way to work, where I was denting cars. It was so horrible. I would get to work like frazzled. It took 10 minutes to get to work, but it felt like a lifetime of murdering people with my car. Some of you may understand what that means. Like, I was freaking out. Anyway, in between panic attacks, I started writing the story of my life. And I literally started with, at age 8, I was sitting in my classroom, and I thought, if I just write this down, the next time I relapse, I can read it over again and I can remember that this is real and this is what it feels like. Because to me, when I'm out of a relapse or when I'm not experiencing symptoms, it's hard to remember what it's like when I am. And when I'm in a relapse and experiencing symptoms, it's hard to remember what it's like not to be experiencing them. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's how it is for me. And I spent 3 weeks writing the story of my life. And then I got better. I felt better after the meds kicked in and after I did some therapy to help. And I read it and I said, this is good. It was super raw. I mean, super raw and bad grammar. And so over the years, it was pretty much every year I would redo it again, and then I would read through it and I would correct things and I would reorganize it. And then finally this last year and a half, I thought, I've got to get the story out there. It's not out there. There's nothing out there for us, like memoir based on HOCD or sexual intrusive thoughts or scrupulosity or whatever. So I found an editor. I got it out there, and here it is. So I'm super proud of finally telling the story, but mostly I'm super proud because OCD told me at age 21, you can't do it. Nobody's going to believe you. Everybody's going to judge you. And you know what? Maybe they are. Maybe they read the book. Maybe they hear it when I do public speeches. Maybe they watch these videos. And I've had comments on here where people do. Trust me. But I don't care because we know it's real. And we know it sucks. And we know the misery it causes. But I'm here to tell you the wonderful people that live with this, and you're one of them. Never doubt that. Never believe the lies that OCD tells you. Never give up, because I'm going to tell you, 31 years later from onset, 18 years later from when OCD said I couldn't do it, 5 years later from relapse, the story's out there and it's staying. You, and I want you to know, your comments, your interactions, your emails, they help me. And I really appreciate the community of people that I can talk to about this debilitating disorder. I also want to say I'm sorry I haven't gotten back to a lot of your comments. I've been super busy this last week, but I will catch up. And if I don't always get back to them really quickly, I will, because it's important to create community, and it's important for us to feel supported and not alone. So thank you for what you bring to me. Really, it's an honor to be part of a community of people with our type of OCD. It's an honor to be part of that community with you. So if you want to purchase the book, it's at booklocker.com. That's my publisher. Or you can buy it at amazon.com. Right now it's out of stock, which I'm going to tell you something. It's not because I'm all popular and shit. It's probably because they were like, who is this girl? What is this disorder? And they only ordered a few books. I don't know, but immediately if you need it, it's at booklocker.com, barnesandnobles.com. So if you do get it and if you do read it, please reach out to me. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your experience. I want to hear if it helps and relates. That would be awesome. So thank you for all that you do. I love communicating with y'all, and I hope that you're having a good week so far, and I look forward to seeing you next week on my next video, which is going to be about violent intrusive thoughts. Bye. Have a good weekend.